Hi everyone, this is Neel Raithatha, consultant audiologist and director of ClearWax. Thank you for joining me in my latest video using the WAXscope. And here we have a patient who attended with a blocked right ear, and they have this skin and later deeper in the ear, some earwax. So I'm just going to reduce the brightness. When you've got dead skin, it contains a protein called keratin, and keratin is highly reflective. So one of the benefits of keratin is that it reflects away harmful UV rays from the sun. And so I've just reduced the brightness, and I'm trying to peel this off the posterior, so the back part of the ear canal. We're just past the second bend. Now this plug of skin and later earwax, which is embedded onto the eardrum, it extends all the way from the entrance to the patient's eardrum. And you can see, as I'm lifting that away, underneath you've got a fresher layer of dead skin, which is more white in appearance. And if we don't remove this plug, what will happen is that outer layer will get replaced by another outer layer of skin, and it will eventually be pushed into the core, and by the time it reaches the core, it'll oxidize and get darker. So I'm just going to the floor of the ear canal, again lifting it up. I have instilled some medical grade olive oil spray just to help loosen the adhesions of the skin plug against the canal wall. So far this is just dead skin. There's no earwax in sight at the moment, but there is some earwax deeper in the ear. And we're now transition to the front part of the ear canal. So this is the patient's right ear. And now I think I'm going to go to the top. So with this, with the WAXscope, you have to, with this type of device like the WAXscope, you have to have a slit in the specula, and that's your insertion zone for the instrument. So if you've got a patient with a bit of hair, you can just enter that slit, but as soon as you put the instrument in, it kind of pushes it to the side. So it's not too much of an issue. So again, I'm just trying to loosen it all the way around. So I'm going a bit higher in the ear canal. And you can start seeing some wax present a bit deeper in the ear. And this is what's great about the WAXscope. You can see the level of detail. So you can see this sheet of dead skin that's enveloped the wax plug. You can see the structure of it, the finer details. At this stage, I was half wondering whether it was potentially keratosis obtrans, but it wasn't. Of course, if this continued to the skin plug continues to grow, it could eventually then become a keratosis obtrans. But keratosis obtrans is a dead epidermal skin plug in the ear, basically, and it continues to grow, and it can be very, very difficult to remove keratosis obtrans. And the hallmark to be diagnosed with keratosis obtrans, there's 4 grades, but grade 1 is there's some pain in the ear, and as you got the grading system to grade 4, which is the most severe form, the pain increases, the hearing loss increases, and the widening of the ear canal increases. So keratosis obtrans, it can lead to a widening of the bony part of the ear canal. So I'm just going to the top, bringing it down. So yeah, there's no evident widening of this patient's ear canal, and there was no pain reported either, so it wouldn't fit that classification. So here you can see some dead skin being pulled along, and once you detach this outer matrix of dead skin, it does make removal of the wax and dead skin much easier, because the skin almost kind of prevents you from removing it. It's attached to the wax plug, it's semi-attached to the canal wall, so you're forever playing tug of war. So if you can, it's useful to try and remove the skin, or at least detach it. You've got to be careful though, because skin clarinets. Now, what's clarinetting? When you suction dead skin, the skin violently flaps at the tip of the suction tip probe, and that vibrations emit a very loud, high frequency squeal. It's not only loud for the patient, but it's also loud for me. So you've got to be really, really careful when you're working with dead skin. So going to the top, dragging it down. So we're probably halfway into the ear canal. The problem here is you can't see it at the moment, but at the other end of this plug, it is attached to the eardrum. So it's not as easy and simple as just getting a suction grip and pulling it away, because we are quite deep into the ear now. I prefer not to use any manual instruments, because the deeper you go in the ear, the more sensitive it becomes. And of course, at the end of the auditory tube, the canal, you've got the eardrum. So you don't want to cause any trauma if you can avoid using the manual instruments, because you're much more likely to cause trauma or a bit of discomfort to the patient with manual instruments in comparison to suction. And this plug here now, where I'm working, this is the inferior recess. Such as the magnification of the WAXscope, although this wax is really, really deep in the ear, you can see it as it's coming away out of the ear with the specular. You could see that the distance of the canal and the position of this wax. But such as the magnification, it just looks quite close up, which is the idea of the WAXscope. So you've got that additional magnification. So a lot of specialists in the UK, they use what we call head microscopes or head loupes, which probably have a shorter learning curve to use. However, they provide very little magnification. So whenever we get specialists come on our endoscopic course, that's the main reason, because they watch the endoscope videos to see the magnification. Because the endoscope has, although it hasn't got as much magnification compared to the WAXscope, it's got significantly more than the loupes. So we're just going to re-enter, and behind this softish kind of more wax now, it's still dead skin involved, but there's a bit more wax. So behind the soft layer, there's a bit more of a crusty layer of wax, which I had to use some additional olive oil to help loosen. So this is also trapped on the right hand side. You can see the canal on the right, and it veers off to the right. So that's the anterior recess. This is the patient's right ear. I'm just going to, I think the suction tube got blocked there. So I'm just going to re-enter. I'm just going slightly further now with the specular, just so I can get some better optics. I can see the wax a bit better in this anterior recess. And I'm just trying to drag it out. So I've got a nice piece there that's coming away shortly. And a bit at the top also. And I can just start seeing the top of the eardrum. And you can see as I'm pulling this away, you can see the blue tinge behind that. So that's the eardrum. So it may be visible to you, but it is adhered to the drum. I'm going to lift it up slightly because it's trapped in this inferior recess and also anterior. So by lifting it up, we're trying to take it out of this trench. I think the plug's just a bit too big, so we're just breaking it down with the suction. The oil again is going to help to loosen this, to hopefully break it into little pieces so we can come away out from deep in the ear. There we are, so I managed to get that piece away. There's a bit left on the right hand side, but I'm going to leave that. It's not too much of a concern for me. So I hope you enjoyed that video, guys, and if you are interested in the WAXscope, please do email info@clearwax.co.uk. Thank you, bye.